Hi, good morning. This is the favorite program of yours, the newspaper headlines, on this station, ACNN TV, where we bring to bear happenings in the country, bordering on politics, security, and what have you, and also sports inclusive. I am Charles Philip Wakalam. Remember, this is a live program where you can call in or text in to share your thoughts regarding the headlines. And also follow and share our various social media platforms. On YouTube, it is youtube.com/ACNN TV. On Facebook, it is facebook.com/ACNN TV. And now on Instagram and Twitter at ACNN TV. And our website is acnntv.com. We begin with Vanguard newspaper this morning. And insecurity has been the major talk of town. Federal government declares war on bandits, kidnappers, others. Page 5. Declares no-fly zone. Bans all mining activities in Zamfara. That's the kicker right there. 279 kidnappers kidnapped schoolgirls released with help of repentant bandits. That's coming from Governor Matawali. Buhari celebrates release of abducted students, kicks against payment of ransom. Our abductors threaten to kill, fry and eat us. Jangebe abductee. Says kidnappers put sand in the rice they were fed with. We are relieved Zamfara schoolgirls are free. Coming from UNICEF. Tasks federal government on school safety. And if you look, you see the picture of the released abducted Jangebe students. A cross-section of the 279 students of Government Girls Junior Secondary School, Jangebe in Zamfara, during a reception at the government house in Gusau yesterday morning after their release by the abductors. All right, moving on. Bandits kill 7 in Kaduna, Niger. Kidnap 18 passengers along Tegina Mina Road. Banditry becoming an industry benefiting some people. This is coming from Lawan on page 9. Petrol price hits 170 naira per litre as scarcity persists. Page 8. Let's look up above masthead. Nigeria receives first batch of COVID-19 vaccines. Page 9. That's where you can find this paper. Food blockade. Prices skyrocketing in Nsuka, Aba environs. We will ensure food production and supplies in South. This is coming from Middle Belt Forum. Page 32. States should lead in economic recovery and sustainable growth. Fire me. Page 34. Get the rest of the story there. And finally, e-payment in Nigeria decline across all channels. E-payment in Nigeria decline across all channels. Page 10. The next one is Blueprint newspaper right here. Buhari declares Zamfara no-fly zone. Says ransom prospers banditry as 18 kidnapped in Niger. Page 5. 400 die. 80 Shiroro communities deserted in 6 years. Muslim media group rejects amnesty. That's on page 14. We have two pictures here. One shows reception of the released abducted school girls at the government house, while the other shows two of the repentant bandits that helped in the release of the girls. I'm moving down. Fuel scarcity, labor to picket filling stations hoarding products. Page 5. Plans protests over bill to move minimum wage to concurrent lists. All right, let's look above the lead story now. Father of released Zamfara schoolgirls. Western education over for my daughters. Western education over for my daughters. This is coming from father of released Zamfara schoolgirls. Politicians gave money to sabotage negotiations. Governor Matawale says that. APC louds schoolgirls' freedom. Get details on page 6. NDLEA recovers 27 rifles in Niger. Destroys cannabis farm in Ondo. Page 5. Okay, food blockade to South will worsen economic and political challenges. Arewa Consultative Forum says that. Page 8. Profit-taking insecurity cost investors over 1.37 trillion naira in February. That's the last one there, page 23. That's where you can find it. Okay, I move to the next one, the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Let's see what it has for us. One of us saw her abducted father in kidnappers' den. Zamfara schoolgirl. That's on page 5. I mean, that can be heartbreaking. One of the girls, Rabiatu Sobin, said, since we were kidnapped, I ate once a day and drank water only 2 times. Another girl, Hawa, said, we were sometimes forced to lie down in a narrow hole. We removed our white hijabs when fighter jets were on surveillance mission in the forest. We have pictures here. One showed one of the abducted girls in government girls secondary school, Jangebe, sleeping on arrival at the government house, Kusab, Zamfara State, on Tuesday. The other picture shows some of the girls at their arrival. Okay, investors lose 122.5 billion naira as equities market reverses again. We have a picture of Delta State Governor Senator Ifeanyi Okowa and Bayelsa State Governor Doye Diri and others during inauguration of a secondary school in Warri. Saraki Onyilola Imoke, others meet Obasanjo. That's on page 29. Oyo Zenith Labour Party, ZLP, and Ladoja's group join APC. That's on page 29 as well. NLC, TUC threatened strike over minimum wage. Page 6. Anambra governor to police treat any header with AK-47 as armed robber. That's on page 26. Okay, above masthead, Nigeria receives 3.94 million doses of AstraZeneca vaccine. 84 million doses to arrive before year end. Page 26. Get details there. Kwara, Oyo governors meet on security. Influx of Igangan headers into 13 villages. 7 local governments in Kwara tops agenda. Headers have taken over our farmlands. Ejaye farm settlers cry out. Page 8 and page 27. Finally, federal government declares Zamfara no-fly zone, bans mining activities. Some people using high status to aid bandits. This one is coming from the NSA. That's on page 26. We're moving on to the next newspaper right here, leadership newspaper. CBN unveils rice pyramids in KB. That's immediately below the masthead. CBN unveils rice pyramids in KB State. Find the rest of the story on page 7. Insurance bill to save insurers 48 billion naira annual losses. And on the lead story, freed Jangebe schoolgirls. Bandits asked us to marry them, be their English teachers. That's on page 4. I saw my father, sister in bandits' den. Federal government declares Zamfara no-fly zone, bans mining activities. Unravel masterminds. Senate charges service chiefs. Troops repel attack on Dikwa as insurgents set local government secretariats ablaze. Okay. Picture of the Minister of Health, Ehanire, with the orders during the arrival of the COVID-19 vaccine. That's a picture there. Federal government takes delivery of 3.9 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine, says AstraZeneca vaccines safe. Stories continued on page 4. Okay, and that's the last one on the leadership newspaper. Okay, we're moving on. Nigerian pilot is the next one. Buhari spits fire. That's the lead story. Buhari spits fire, declares that Nigeria has had enough of violence, chaos, and anarchy. Wants that no individual or group should be allowed to push Nigeria to the brink. Declares Zamfara State no-fly zone, bans all mining activities. Insists no sovereign nation will allow non-state actors to bring it to its knees. Okay, get details on page 8. Okay, pictures like a leadership newspaper. Minister of Health, Dr. Sage Hanire, and others at the arrival of the COVID-19 vaccine at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, yesterday. Afenifere, Gani Adams, Iboho, campaign against beef consumption. That's on page 13. All right, 3.94 million COVID-19 vaccine arrives Nigeria. EFCC writes CCB 6 documents on Tinubu's assets declaration. That's on page 7. Zamfara governor says number of abducted schoolgirls is 279, not 317. Page 8. Take fight to bandits, insurgents. Lawan charges new CDS and service chiefs. Page 12. Terrorists did not overrun Dikwa town, says army. Page 10. 100% Nigeria assembled electric car unveiled. 100% Nigeria assembled electric car unveiled. Costs 24 million naira. Page 13. Okay, above lead story, Governor Diri says 2.5% of host communities unacceptable. 2.5% for host communities unacceptable, says Governor Diri. Page 5. And lastly here, Wike, Fintiri reconcile Otom and Bala Mohammed. Get the story on page 10 of Nigerian pilots. Alright, we'll pause here for now and go on a short break. We shall return soon. Please don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.
Every person who is charged with a criminal offense is entitled to defend himself in person or by a legal practitioner of his own choice.
Remember that an individual is entitled to remain silent.
Every citizen in Nigeria is entitled to maintain a private life.
You are approaching a military checkpoint or a police checkpoint without knowing that it's against or it offends them and subject you to a frog jump. That is wrong.
Welcome back. It is still newspaper headlines on ACNN TV. Remember, this is a live program where you can call in, you can text in, share your thoughts regarding any of the headlines, and also you can like, follow, and share our various social media platforms. On YouTube, it is youtube.com/ACNN TV. On Facebook, it is facebook.com/ACNN TV. On Instagram, and on Twitter we are at ACNN TV, and our website is acnntv.com. We shall now continue with New Telegraph newspaper. ACF seeks Zamfara governor's probe over students' abduction. We slept on physics, human parts, schoolgirls. I met my abducted dad in bandits camp, says students. Governor says repentant bandits aided the release. Pages 2 and 6. Picture shows freed 279 schoolgirls. We asked the security agencies to question the governor on the identities of the criminals he is trying to hide. If he refuses to disclose their identities, he must be treated as an accomplice to the criminal act of kidnapping. This is coming from the ACF, the Ariwa Consultative Forum. Buhari to security chiefs, you must flush us. Bans mining activities in Zamfara. Declares state no-fly zone. Take battle to terrorists. Senate charges service chiefs. Page 4. Eating meat can raise risk of heart disease. Page 8. Okay, let's move up now. Above lead story, 3.94 million COVID-19 vaccine doses arrived Nigeria. APC amends constitution to accommodate caretaker committee. Again, bandits kill 1, kidnap over 50 passengers in Niger. Emefiele unveils rice pyramids in KB, tax Nigerians. Above masthead, SIM suspension. Telcos lose 7.7 million customers in 2 months as active subscription declined in 199.8 million. Wow, okay. Federal government says 398 firms bid for valuation of forfeited assets. Okay, that's the last one from New Telegraph newspaper. And but we have this day newspaper right here. Stopping short of a state of emergency. Federal government bans mining and flights over Zamfara. Okay, bandits offered money not to release abducted students, says Matawali. Bandits offered money not to release abducted students, says Matawali. They threatened to kill us. Freed schoolgirls narrate audios in captivity. Military. Borno town, Dikwa, retake from Boko Haram. Borno town, Dikwa, retaken from Boko Haram. On security, Vice President Oshibajo and Chief of Defense Staff Major General Loki Rabo, Chief of Army Staff Major General Ibrahim Atahiru, and Chief of Air Staff Air Marshal Amao during a National Security Council meeting in Abuja yesterday. Alright, looking down with arrival of COVID-19 vaccines, federal government steps up vaccination campaign. Page 5. Above masthead, Nigeria needs to boost food reserves, says Emefiele. CBN considers ending OMO sale to foreign investors. Bagudu and Fayemi commend Apex Bank. Federal government in China finalize financing negotiations for Katsina Maradi rail line and others. Find it on page 8. Okay, to the next one. People's Daily newspaper. Abductions. Buhari orders security chiefs to reclaim bandits dominated areas. Reclaim bandits dominated areas. Buhari to security chiefs. Kika say bans mining activities in Zamfara, declares state no-fly zone. Bandits kidnap over 50 passengers in Niger. Stories on pages 4 and 5. The picture shows arrival of the COVID-19 AstraZeneca to Nigeria. Economic recovery, Oshibajo louts CBN calls for regulation of blockchain technology, page 20. And the key COVID-19 vaccines arrive Nigeria. That's official report from WHO, page 2. Zamfara abduction, we slept in dry water channel, released Jangebe schoolgirls, page 7. And on page 4, reps want army to improve welfare package for soldiers. Okay, let's look above lead story for the final story here. Over 95% of treaties, protocols yet to be domesticated in Nigeria. This is according to reps committee, page 2. That's the last story from People's Daily newspaper. But don't worry, that's not all. Remember, we have sports stories for you. On the sports stories this morning, page 38 of Vanguard newspaper, Roa tempts Basi of Fobo to join Aribo and Balogun in Super Eagles. Okay, let me read a little of that story. Nigeria manager Gernot Roa is keeping tabs on Glasgow Rangers left-back Calvin Bassey and Bournemouth-owned midfielder Nnamdi Ofobo, who has signed a pre-contract with the Light Blues with a view to a possible invitation to Super Eagles in future. Okay. And the story beside that, Aruna battle Indian star in main draw of World Table Tennis. Chukwueze back to his best. This is coming from Coach Emery. 40 eaglets undergo MRI test, MRI age test for under 17 AFCON. CAF election, Ahmad's eligibility battle begins at CAS. That is the Court of Arbitration for Sports, CAS. Okay? Motsepe set to emerge CAF president with rivals to withdraw. Nigeria under-19 boys aim high at African Nations Volleyball Championship. And the Nigerian Women Football League, OCON, applauds Rivers Angels. The Higher Institution Football League, HIFL, pays sports appoints Dr. Akim Binu as health and safety consultant. Okay, do we have anything on the back page? Yes. 2020 Tokyo Olympics basketball fixtures, the Tigers open campaign against USA and Australia. Manchester United injury boost, Cavani to return, Pogba remains sidelined. Today's fixtures in the EPL, Burnley versus Leicester, 7 p.m. and Sheffield United against Aston Villa, 7 p.m. as well. Crystal Palace versus Manchester United will happen at 9:15 p.m. The MPFL here, Dakar FC against Wiki Tourist, 4 p.m. Plateau United and Rivers United, 4 p.m. Warri Wolves, Enyimba, also 4 p.m. And the Serie A, Sassuolo and Napoli, 6:30 p.m. AC Milan and Udinese, 8:45 p.m. Atalanta versus Crotone, 8:45. Benevento versus Verona, Cagliari, Bologna, Fiorentina versus Roma, Genoa and Sampdoria, all 8:45 p.m. In the Copa del Rey, Barcelona will welcome Sevilla at 9 p.m. Okay, in Ligue 1, Brest and Dijon, 7 p.m. Lyon versus Rennes, Metz versus Angers, Nice versus Nimes, Etienne versus Lens, and Bordeaux against PSG. Lille will welcome Marseille, Montpellier versus Lorient, Nantes, Reims, Strasbourg versus Monaco. Okay. Aruna to battle Indian Star in the main draw of World Table Tennis. And that is all from the sports pages. And of course, that's the size of the show for today. Thank you for watching. I bring you a message of hope and healing this morning. Jesus Christ is the resurrection and life. Believe in the power of his resurrection, and every dead thing in your life will come alive. I am Charles Philip Wakalam. God bless your day. Bye-bye.
Marriage is the institution which God established. It is such an important institution that nobody should enter carelessly or unadvisedly.
Love is actually an act of our will, and so you must decide to love.